Why do you feel so lost in your life? Look closer. The feeling isn't coming from your life. It's coming from your work. You've been taught to see it as a trade, a transaction, your precious life force in exchange for survival. And you've accepted this assumption so completely that it has become the cage you live in. But what if I told you that this cage has no bars? What if your work was never meant to be a prison, but a sacred laboratory? A place where you are given the power to shape your very soul? There is a secret to work they never told you. It has nothing to do with what you do, and everything to do with who you are being. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you will not see your job the same way again. You will see it as the most powerful tool for spiritual transformation you have ever been given. The feeling of being lost will be replaced by a feeling of immense power. That is my promise to you. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That quiet hum of discontent. You wake up, you go to work, you collect a paycheck, and you tell yourself this is it. This is practical. This is life. But your soul, that deep, knowing part of you, whispers a different story. It tells you that you were designed for more than a title, for more than a transaction of your time for money. You've accepted an assumption about work, a state of being that feels safe, but is slowly starving your spirit. You have confined the infinite power within you, the great I am, to a box labeled employee or owner. But that label is not you. It is a costume you are wearing, and the feeling of being lost is simply your true self telling you it's time to take it off. This feeling isn't a curse, it's a compass. It is the first sign that a grander vision, the one your inner world has held for you all along, is demanding to be seen. It's time to listen. Now let's go deeper. You search for a calling, as if it's a hidden treasure waiting to be found somewhere out there, in the world. A myth. Your calling is not something you find. It is something you remember. It is the resonance of your own consciousness, the unique frequency that is you. It's the feeling that ignites you, the activity that makes you lose track of time, the gift that you've dismissed as a hobby or a daydream. That is where the operant power lies. Forget what the world told you was valuable. The key is the feeling. That passion is the language of your highest self, guiding you toward the state where you belong. You believe you must become something else to be fulfilled. But the secret is this: you already are. You are simply refusing to select it, to assume the reality that is already complete within your own powerful imagination. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about finally agreeing to be who you are. Consider the giants of history, the ones who shifted the world. They didn't follow a map, they followed a feeling, an inner conviction. One man saw a burning bush where others saw only a shrub, and in that fire, he felt the undeniable call to lead a people out of a state of bondage, not a physical place, but a state of consciousness. Another heard a promise in the silence of his own heart, a vision of a legacy so vast he had to abandon the world he knew, his comfortable reality, to walk toward an assumption that only he could see. They weren't special. They were simply obedient, not to an external master, but to the divine command within. They understood that the I am within them was the only reality, and they dared to live from that assumption, turning the unseen into the seen. Their stories are not history lessons. They are roadmaps of consciousness. They are proof of the power you hold right now. You might say, but their calling was grand. My work is mundane. A profound misunderstanding. You are measuring your purpose by the world's broken ruler. The scale of the task is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is the alignment of the action with your inner state. True fulfillment isn't found in a corner office or a 7-figure salary. It is the deep, unshakable peace that comes from knowing you are being an instrument for the power that flows through you. When you operate from this core, this authentic self, service becomes effortless. It is no longer a duty, but an overflow. You don't try to make a difference. You are the difference. Your very existence, expressed authentically, is the greatest service you can ever offer. Stop seeking a great task and start embodying your great self. The rest will follow. It must. It is law. So, this restlessness you feel at your desk, this sense of being an imposter in your own life. It is a sacred signal. It's an invitation to stop looking outside for permission, for validation, for a new job title. The world out there is just a shadow, a reflection of your past inner conversations. The real work is within. It's time to turn your gaze inward, to the source of all creation, the power that is dreaming your entire life into existence. You've been trying to rearrange the furniture in the room when you have the power to select an entirely new reality. You believe work is about what you do or what you get, but that's only the surface. The real transformation begins when you understand what work is designed to be. Work is a vessel. You have been taught to judge the vessel, its size, its shape, its material, while ignoring the substance it is meant to carry. Oh, what a profound error. The man who sweeps a floor and the man who runs a nation are performing the same function. They are expressing the I am. The universe does not distinguish between their tasks. It responds only to the consciousness flowing through the act. Is a thought, your work an expression of drudgery, of lack, of obligation? Then that is the reality you will solidify. Or is it an act of service, an offering, a conscious circulation of energy? This is the selection you make moment by moment. The nature of your job is an illusion. The only thing that is real is the intention you pour into it. Change the feeling, the assumption behind the act, and the act itself is reborn. Its meaning, its impact, and its reward are transformed instantly. This is the operant power in your hands. Here's what changes everything. The man sweeping the floor, if he assumes the state of one who creates order and peace, is no longer a janitor. He is a priest of purity, consecrating a space for others to thrive. His broom is a wand, and his work is a silent prayer that blesses everyone who enters that room. The leader of a corporation, if she assumes the state of one who creates opportunity and empowers others, is no longer a CEO. She is a steward of potential, a channel for abundance that flows through her to nourish thousands. The work is identical on the surface, but the inner world is infinitely different. This is the secret. It is not about what you do, but from what state of consciousness you do it. Are you merely moving pieces around in the shadow world, or are you commanding reality from the source? Feeling is the key that turns the lock. Your feeling of service precedes the evidence of your impact. Now go deeper. Your unique gifts, your passions, the things that flow from you with effortless joy. These are not your possessions. You are not the source of these gifts. You are the channel for them. They are divine energy, consciousness itself, seeking expression through you. To deny them, to hide them, to trade them for a paycheck you resent, is to build a dam against the very river of life that seeks to flow through your being. Your work, your true work, is to become a clear and open channel, to allow this creative power to move through you unimpeded by doubt or fear. When you see this, work is no longer work. It is artistry. It is expression. It is worship. Whether you are writing code, raising a child, or planting a garden, you are giving form to the formless. You are the hands of the Creator, and every task is a sacred act of creation when you remember who and what you truly are. You want to make a difference, a noble desire, but you've been conditioned to believe that this requires a grand stage, a massive platform. This is a lie that keeps you small, waiting for an opportunity that is already here. Making a difference is not an outcome you achieve. It is a state you inhabit. When you assume the consciousness of one who contributes, of one whose presence is a gift, your entire reality bends to reflect that assumption. Every conversation, every project, every small interaction becomes imbued with that powerful intention. You don't have to find your purpose. You just have to decide to be purposeful right where you are. Assume the feeling of the contribution you wish to make. Feel it now. Live from this state, and the opportunities to serve will hunt you down. The world doesn't give you purpose. It reflects the purpose you claim, but this realization, this claiming of your own divine power, will inevitably call forth a shadow from within. It is easier to blame a job, a boss, or the economy for your emptiness. It is terrifying to accept that the power to transform your entire experience of work has been within you all along. This acceptance means no more excuses. It means total responsibility. And as you stand at this threshold, ready to infuse your life with sacred purpose, a gatekeeper will rise to meet you. It will have a familiar name: fear, doubt, inadequacy. But these are not enemies to be vanquished, they are invitations. They are the guardians of your own becoming, and the tremor you feel is not a warning to retreat, but a sign that you are closer than ever to your true power. And so, you feel it. This divine discontent, this call to a higher expression. You see the possibility of work as service, as worship. And right on cue, the gatekeeper appears. Fear. It arrives with a cold grip, whispering all the familiar lies. Who are you to do this? You're not ready. You will fail. Listen closely. This voice is not a prophecy. It is a memory. It is the echo of your old state of consciousness, the sum of all your past assumptions, fighting for its survival. You are standing at the edge of your known world, about to select a new reality. Of course, the old one screams. The intensity of your fear is not a measure of the danger ahead. It is a measure of the magnitude of the shift you are about to make. See it for what it is, not a stop sign, but a confirmation that you are on the right path. The path of true creation. Doubt is simply a divided mind. It is the war between the man you have been and the man you are becoming. It is the tension between your senses, which show you what is, and your imagination, which shows you what could be. To overcome doubt, you do not fight it. You do not argue with it. You simply make a choice, a selection. You choose which reality you will feed with your attention. Faith is not blind hope. Faith is disciplined attention. It is a stubborn, unwavering loyalty to your unseen reality. It is the art of staying true to your assumption, of living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, even when the entire world screams that it is not yet here. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Starve the doubt. Feed the dream. This is the great work. This is the application of the law. Think of the man who dared to walk on water. His story is not about a miracle from the outside. It is a lesson in the power of the inner state. He was held up not by the water, but by his assumption. As long as his consciousness was locked on the vision, the feeling of being one who could do the impossible, the stormy waves of his reality had no power. He was living by a higher law. But the moment he looked down, the moment he gave his attention to the chaos, to the facts of his senses, he began to sink. He fell from the state of the miraculous back into the state of the mundane. He let the outer world dictate his inner feeling. Your fear, your doubt, these are the waves. Your calling is the vision on the far shore. Where will you place your focus? Your focus determines whether you walk or sink. So when fear arises as you contemplate your calling, recognize it for the invitation it is. It is an invitation to grow in trust. Not trust in the world, not trust in a plan, but trust in the I am that dwells within you. That operant power does not call you to a purpose without also providing the means to fulfill it. Every challenge that appears is perfectly designed to call forth from you a power you did not know you possessed. The fear of failure is an invitation to redefine success as obedience to your inner vision. The fear of judgment is an invitation to find your validation from within. Each tremor of fear is a sacred opportunity to choose again, to anchor yourself more deeply in the assumption of the man or woman you have decided to be. You are not being tested. You are being initiated. But what is the deepest fear of all? For most, it is the great lie of scarcity. If I follow my heart, I will starve. If I pursue my passion, I will be poor. This is the final illusion, the ultimate chain that keeps so many souls in prisons of their own making. This assumption, that holiness and poverty are partners, that purpose and prosperity are enemies, is the most insidious trick ever played on human consciousness. You believe you must choose between fulfillment and abundance. Oh, but what if that is the very belief that is blocking both? What if your true calling is the only gateway to a state you've only dreamed of, a state of true, holistic abundance? This fear of lack is the final ghost in the machine, the poisonous assumption that has held humanity captive for eons. You have been taught that to be spiritual, you must be poor. That to follow your heart is to abandon worldly success. This is a lie, programmed into you to keep you from claiming your full inheritance. The infinite consciousness, the I Am that breathes life into galaxies, is the very essence of abundance. Scarcity is a shadow, born only in a mind that has forgotten its source. To believe that this immense power would design a unique and glorious purpose for you, and then leave you to struggle for survival is a profound insult to the Creator within. Your purpose and your prosperity flow from the same spring. They are not two separate paths, they are one. You must only select the state where this is your truth. Now, you must redefine abundance. You have been taught to see it as numbers in a bank account, a narrow, lifeless definition. True abundance is a state of consciousness. It is the inner feeling of wholeness, of being so full of life and joy that it overflows. This inner state is the cause. Financial prosperity is but one of its many effects. Abundance is the perfect idea arriving at the perfect time. It is the sudden connection with a person who opens a new door. It is a body filled with vibrant energy. It is a mind at peace. When you align with your calling, you enter this state of high-frequency coherence. You do not chase these things. You become a magnet for them. You are no longer seeking abundance. You are the state of abundance, and your outer world has no choice but to conform to your new assumption. Here is why. This is law. When you operate from a place of passion and authenticity, your work ceases to be a labor. It becomes a joyful expression, a form of play. In this state of flow, you produce your most excellent, most creative, most powerful work with an almost effortless grace. This energy, this quality, is palpable. It infuses everything you do with an undeniable value that the world cannot help but recognize and reward. Scarcity is the result of friction, of forcing yourself to do what you resent, of acting out of alignment with your true self. Abundance is the result of flow. It is the natural consequence of allowing your authentic self, your inner being, to express itself freely and joyfully through your work. You stop swimming against the current and you simply become it. Therefore, your calling is not a risk to your security. It is the only true security there is. The unique constellation of gifts within you is a perfectly designed key meant to unlock a very specific treasure chest in the universe. To try and find abundance while ignoring your purpose is to try and open a lock with the wrong key. You can force it, you can struggle, you can strive your entire life, and you will only experience resistance and lack. But the moment you use the key you were given, the key of your own authentic passion and service, the treasure chest swings open. Do not seek wealth and then pursue purpose. Assume this truth. By giving your greatest gifts to the world, you are activating the very channel through which your greatest abundance will flow. This is the divine economy. And as you begin to live in this flow, something miraculous happens. The distinction between work and reward, between effort and outcome, begins to dissolve. The work is no longer a means to an end. It becomes a sacred end in itself. The joy of creation, the fulfillment of service, the peace of alignment. These become the real treasures. The material wealth is a beautiful but secondary reflection of this inner state. Every task, from the grandest project to the most mundane detail, becomes an opportunity. An opportunity not just to serve others or to create value, but to honor the source of your very life. But how do you maintain this state? How do you turn every single moment, every keystroke, every conversation into an act of pure devotion? How do you transform your work into worship? And so you arrive at the final understanding. Work is not a compartment of your life. It is the altar upon which you place your devotion. Worship is not an act you perform on a specific day or in a specific building. It is a state of consciousness you inhabit, moment by moment. To turn your work into worship is to dissolve the illusion of the doer. There is no longer you performing a task for a reward. There is only the one infinite consciousness, the I Am, expressing its own glory through the vessel that is you. When you write an email, it is consciousness writing. When you build a house, it is consciousness building. In this state, there is no mundane and no sacred. There is only the divine expressing itself, and every act becomes a holy sacrament, an offering back to the source of all that is. This is the meaning behind the ancient command. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as for the Lord and not for men. This is not a call to please an external watching deity. It is a call to be loyal to the God within you. Your work is your signature, the physical manifestation of your current state of consciousness. To perform any task with excellence, with integrity, with your full presence is to honor your own divinity. To do it sloppily with resentment or divided attention is to dishonor yourself. Every task, then, becomes a profound opportunity to express the qualities of your true nature: order, beauty, creativity, and love. You are not just doing a job, you are making a statement about who you are. Make it a magnificent one. Here is the deepest secret. Your work is a channel for love. When your consciousness is unified with the source, you understand that this creative energy is, in its purest form, love. Therefore, every act of work can be a transmission of this love into the world. The food you prepare can be infused with the feeling of nourishment and care. The code you write can be imbued with the intention of creating ease and order. The client you serve can be met with a silent blessing of peace and success. You are no longer just exchanging goods or services for money. You are participating in a divine circulation of grace. You transmit love through your intention, through your feeling, and the universe, in its unfailing lawfulness, must return that energy to you, multiplied. In this state of being, you are finally free. Your fulfillment is no longer tied to the outcome of your labor. The paycheck, the praise, the promotion, these become mere secondary effects, pleasant but unnecessary for your joy. The reward is the work itself. The feeling of that divine energy flowing through you, the bliss of creation, the deep satisfaction of service. This is the real treasure. This is the heaven you were seeking. You have transcended the need for external validation because you are filled with the internal realization of your own divine nature. You are no longer working to get something. You are working because the joyful expression of who you are is the greatest feeling you can possibly experience. You see it now, don't you? The feeling of being lost was a call to come home to yourself. Your work was never the problem. Your state of consciousness about it was. And with this profound shift in perception, everything changes, yet nothing on the outside may have changed at all. You are no longer just a worker, an employee, a professional. You are a creator expressing your gifts. You are a channel pouring grace into the world. You are a worshiper, and your entire life has become the temple. Every breath is a prayer, and every act is an amen. This is the secret to fulfillment that has been hidden in plain sight all along. You already are everything you were seeking to become. You see now, don't you? The work was never the cage. It was the key all along. You no longer work to live. Your work is how you live, deliberately, powerfully, and divinely. So the only question that matters is this: what new assumption about who you are will you embody when you work tomorrow? Let me know in the comments below. What is the one task you will now transform into an act of worship? Subscribe and turn on notifications, because this remembrance is just beginning. And if this has awakened something profound in you, the next video is your next initiation. It's on the screen now. Click it, and let's go deeper.